Most people making $65,000 think maxing a 401k and Roth IRA is physically impossible. But here's what they don't realize. The average person at this income level is actually throwing away $5,000 in free tax savings every single year. And if you're not capturing that money, someone else is, the government. This changes everything about how you should think about your paycheck. Let's start with what most financial advice gets wrong. You've probably heard that you need to build an emergency fund first, then invest for retirement. That's partially true, but it misses a critical window. If you're under 35 and making around $65,000 annually, the math actually favors maxing retirement accounts before you optimize anything else. Here's why. The tax advantage compounds. We're talking about potentially $6 million in retirement wealth versus $1 million, depending on when you start and how disciplined you are. That's not hyperbole, that's just compounding over time. In 2026, the 401k contribution limit sits at $24,500. The Roth IRA limit is $7,200. Combined, that's $31,700 in tax-advantaged space you can fill annually. On a $65,000 salary, that number seems impossible, but I'm going to show you it's not only possible, it's the decision that separates people who retire at 55 from people who work until 70. The mechanism that makes this work is tax reduction. When you contribute to a traditional 401k, that money comes out pre-tax. If you're in the 22% federal tax bracket, which you are at $65,000, you're saving roughly $5,400 in federal taxes by maxing your 401k. That's money the government would have taken. Instead, it stays in your retirement account, compounding for the next 30 or 40 years. Most people think of 401k contributions as money leaving their pocket. It's actually money the government was going to take anyway that you're redirecting to yourself. Let's break down what this actually looks like on a real paycheck. If you're paid bi-weekly, your gross pay is approximately $2,500 per check. To hit that $24,500 401k target, you need to contribute about $1,800 bi-weekly. Yes, that's roughly 70% of your gross pay. That sounds extreme until you calculate take-home. Because your taxable income drops from $2,500 to $700 per paycheck, your federal tax withholding essentially disappears. You're still paying Social Security and Medicare taxes, which total about $200 per check. So your actual take-home is roughly $1,400 bi-weekly, not the $500 you might initially think. From that $1,400 bi-weekly, or $2,800 monthly, you need to carve out space for your Roth IRA contribution. That's approximately $590 monthly. You're left with roughly $2,200 per month for rent, food, utilities, transportation, phone, insurance, and everything else. That's genuinely tight, but it's not zero. It's manageable if you're intentional about where you live and how you spend. And here's what makes it worth it. In 40 years, you're looking at approximately $6 million in retirement accounts. Specifically, about $4.6 million in your 401k and $1.3 million in your Roth IRA, assuming a conservative 7% annual return. $3 million of that is completely tax-free because it's inside the Roth. The second component people miss is employer matching. Most 401k plans offer matching contributions. The most common structure is 50% match on the first 6% of salary. At $65,000, that's another $1,950 your employer is putting into your account annually. That's essentially free money just for participating. If you're maxing your 401k anyway, you're capturing that match completely. Over 40 years, with compounding, employer match alone becomes worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. Now let's address the practical execution, because this is where most people fail. You need to make two separate moves. First, contact your HR department and adjust your 401k election. You're telling them to deduct approximately $1,800 bi-weekly from your paycheck and deposit it pre-tax into your 401k. This happens through your benefits portal. It takes about 10 minutes. Second, you open a Roth IRA at Vanguard, Fidelity, Charles Schwab, or Ally. These institutions have zero account minimums and zero account fees. You set up an automatic transfer of $600 monthly from your checking account into the Roth IRA. That's it. You've now automated the entire strategy. You never see the money. It moves automatically. Your brain never categorizes it as available to spend. The behavioral economics here matter enormously. When money is automatically deducted from your paycheck, you adapt to living on the remainder. Your brain brain recalibrates what counts as normal spending. This is why automation works where willpower fails. You're not making a choice to save every month. The choice was made once at setup. Now it's mechanical. The tax advantage extends beyond just federal income tax savings. Because your modified adjusted gross income is lower, remember, you've reduced it by the 401k contribution, you might also qualify for tax credits or deductions you wouldn't otherwise receive. The Savers Credit, for example, allows people making under certain thresholds to get a government credit for retirement savings. At your income level, if you're also maximizing a Roth IRA, you could potentially claim a credit worth up to $1,000 depending on filing status. That's actual money the government gives you for saving. But here's what gets overlooked in most 401k discussions. The growth trajectory matters more than you think. A 25-year-old maxing both accounts will accumulate substantially more wealth than a 35-year-old starting the same strategy, even if the 35-year-old contributes larger dollar amounts later. Time in the market beats timing the market. A single year of contributions at 25, earning 7% annually for 40 years, grows to approximately $500,000. That same contribution made at 35 only has 30 years to compound, resulting in about $260,000. That 1 decade of starting early created an extra $240,000 in wealth with zero additional effort after the initial contribution stops. The lifestyle piece is real though, and I want to be honest about it. Living on $2,200 monthly after maxing retirement accounts requires deliberate choices. You're probably sharing an apartment or renting a modest place. You're meal planning and cooking at home most nights. You're using public transportation or driving a paid-off used car. You're not taking expensive vacations. You're not upgrading your phone every year. You're not buying the latest tech or fashion. This is a genuine trade-off between present consumption and future freedom. But consider what changes at 45. If you've been maxing these accounts for 20 years, you now have roughly $1.2 million in retirement accounts. You can reduce your work hours. You can change careers to something you actually enjoy that pays less. You can take unpaid sabbaticals. You can take a year off entirely. Your peers who spend every dollar of their income instead of saving it, they're stuck. They still need the same paycheck. They still work the same jobs. Their financial options are zero. The mathematical comparison is worth sitting with. The average American in their early 30s has approximately $5,000 in retirement savings. The median is even lower. If you follow this strategy, after 10 years, you'll have approximately $140,000 in retirement accounts. After 20 years, roughly $580,000. After 30 years, approximately $1.5 million. You're not a financial genius. You didn't pick winning stocks. You didn't start a side business. You simply automated your savings into tax-advantaged accounts and let compounding do the work. Most of your peers didn't do this, so they'll have roughly zero in tax-advantaged retirement accounts at the same ages. Now, people ask about flexibility. What if you need the money? What if life circumstances change? Here's the honest answer. If you need money before 59 and a half, the 401k has penalties and taxes. The Roth IRA is more flexible. You can withdraw contributions anytime, penalty-free, but it's still not ideal. This strategy assumes you have a baseline emergency fund in place, separate from retirement accounts. You should have 3 to 6 months of expenses in liquid savings before you're maxing retirement accounts. If you don't have that emergency fund yet, build that first. But once it's in place, retirement account maximization becomes your next priority. The income constraint also matters. This strategy works cleanly at $65,000 because you're in a relatively low tax bracket. If you were earning $150,000, maxing these same accounts would only require about 40% of your gross income, making it dramatically easier to maintain a comfortable lifestyle simultaneously. As your income increases over your career, and it probably will, this strategy becomes progressively less restrictive. By the time you're earning $90,000, maxing these accounts feels almost casual. By $120,000, it's genuinely easy. One final element. The Roth IRA component specifically gives you flexibility that the 401k doesn't. Roth contributions, the money you put in, not the earnings, can be withdrawn anytime for any reason, without penalty. So if a genuine emergency occurs, you have a backup source of funds. It's not ideal to use it, but the option exists. Your 401k contributions are more locked away, which is actually good because it removes temptation. Here's what I want you to actually do this week. First, log into your employer's benefits portal and pull up your current 401k election. Check what percentage of your paycheck is currently going to retirement savings. Calculate what percentage you need to hit $24,500 annually. If you need to increase Release it, adjust it, send a confirmation email to your HR department. Second, spend 20 minutes opening a Roth IRA at whichever platform appeals to you most. Vanguard has the lowest fees and most investment options. Fidelity has excellent customer service and zero minimums. Schwab is in the middle. Pick one. Third, set up the automatic monthly transfer of $600 from checking to your Roth IRA. Those 3 steps, done this week, set the entire trajectory of your financial life for the next 40 years. You're not going to feel like you've done anything dramatic. Your paycheck will just be smaller, but you'll have just made the single most important financial decision most people at your income level will ever make. Here's what I actually want to know, though, and I want you to think about this. If you discovered that starting this strategy today versus waiting 1 year would cost you roughly $400,000 in lifetime wealth, would you actually start it? Or would you find reasons to wait? Because that's the real math. That's what 1 year of delay actually costs. Most people will read this, think it sounds good, and then do nothing. They'll wait until next year, then the year after that, and 20 years later, they'll realize they're $30,000 short of where they should be. But here's the question that I genuinely don't know the answer to, and I want to hear your thoughts in the comments. At what point does the cost of waiting become so high that you actually take action instead of just thinking about it?